All right, what's up, guys? So I wanted to talk on this Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather fight. It was interesting. It was interesting, but yeah, you could definitely tell that Floyd Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul is Logan Paul. Cause so that was the thing that I said before. I said that was the main reason why if Floyd Mayweather wins, it's because he's more experienced. He showed that. He showed that. Okay, he definitely showed that. I'm recording this video at 1 a.m., 1:21 a.m. of the next day of the fight and stuff. So, but this video might be a little bit delayed out, so I don't know exactly when you guys will see this video. But I'm just saying, just to throw it out there and stuff. But, anyways, yeah, that was one of the main things I was saying is that Floyd Mayweather, because while Logan Paul was being born into this world, Floyd Mayweather was killing it in his amateur boxing career. All right, man, it's like what was his hold on for a second. Let me look up his amateur Floyd Mayweather amateur boxing record. His amateur boxing record was 84-8 and won a National Golden Gloves Championship in 93, 94, and 96. Dang, he was small. Like 93, he was 106. 94, he was 114. And 96, he was 125. Dang. That man was small. But anyways, but regardless, yeah, that man, it's like, and what? Logan Paul was born, I think because Logan Paul's a year older than me. Logan Paul, and yeah, 95. So as all of that was going on, yeah, Floyd's doing his thing. Logan, you were just being born into this world. So on top of the years of experience that he already had, and then the years of professional experience that he gained throughout the time of you being born all the way up until last night of this boxing event, did you honestly think that you was going to win this fight? Like, and if you did, that's good because you believe in yourself. So that's probably the one good thing out of it. But in reality, you had to know that you wasn't going to win against one of the greatest boxers of all time. That's like, who can I say? That's like if I said that I could go like Muhammad Ali in his prime. That's like me saying that I could go up against Muhammad Ali in his prime. I believe in myself. That's good that I believe in myself. But in reality, I know I would get killed, okay? Even if Muhammad Ali didn't throw a punch, I know I will probably start feeling some pains in my lungs because I used to have asthma as a kid. And so I was like, I'm gonna have an attack mid fight, and I'm like, this man defeated me with my own condition. Like that had been the first, but I'm like, bro, I'm like, I know that, like, but I'm saying though, like, jokes aside, it's unrealistic. You can't be a. And my thing is like if you struggled with fighting with KSI, did you honestly think that you were going to win this fight? If you like, because you forgot about that, and I can see why. Because I'm like, you probably made nowhere near the amount of money you made last night with Floyd than you did with KSI. So it's like, yeah, you probably definitely forgot about that whole fight. But I'm saying it's like you had to remember that fight and then the fight that the amateur fight that you had with him. It's like you can't think that because of that one fight that you had, you could go up against somebody that's definitely far more trained than you. I'm saying like that's no. It's not possible. I believed in you though. I believed in you because you believed in yourself, and it's always good to believe in yourself. And so, even if I was going up against Floyd, I would believe in myself. I probably would have been like, "Look, I've trained. I'm good. I know I'm good. I know I can beat them. All right." But in reality, this man is more trained than me. So I would have to face that at some point in time. And I was like, probably after that final bell done rang, and then they raised his arm up, then I'm like, well, there you go. So I'm like, it's been proven to me I couldn't beat him and stuff. So, but you did your thing. You did your thing. Sweated like crazy. I mean, dang, bro, you was sweating, bro. You was sweating after the like what first, second round. Like you was sweating hard, bro. I was like, I kind of noticed it when they were showing like the previews and stuff, and then you was jogging. It looked like you was sweating a lot, and I was like, dang, he just did all that from jogging. I'm like, how far? I'm like, maybe he was jogging a long amount, or maybe he got some water and stuff and dumped in. I'm like, nah, bro, you was sweating and sweating hard. Maybe that was the water. I don't know, but and you was doing a little bit of hugging. It's like you was pretty much doing what Floyd was doing in that Pacquiao fight. You was hugging, bro. Okay, you was hugging a lot. They had the one photo of you hugging, and I was like, you looked like you was legit giving him a hug. It didn't even look like, it wasn't even like no thing where it was just like you tired and stuff. No, it looked like you was embracing him. Like that meant like he said something to you and you just said, man, I respect you so much. Like you was embracing him for a hug. He probably, and it looked like it looked like one of those things where it's like your friend then got drunk and now he's all emotional and he's like, man, I love you so much, man. You always been a brother to me. He's like, in these days where I just get drunk, I don't know who to go to. And it's like, all right, man, all right, I understand. It's, yeah, it's cool. You're that one sober friend. It's like, all right, bro, cool. Just get off me. Get off me, man. I can smell your axe spray. All right, just back up a little bit. But anyways, but it was cool. I mean, it was cool to finally see it and stuff. Now I'm curious on how it's gonna be with Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul, because I'm like, I know Jake had to see that fight and been like, okay, well, my brother couldn't get the job done, so I would like to see that. I definitely like to see KSI get back into the ring. Him going up against Floyd. Nah, I don't know. Like that's something that I was like, it would be cool. It would definitely be cool, but I don't think Floyd, should spend his days. I think this should be it for Floyd. It's like Floyd's proven literally everything that he needs to be proven. And I mean, he's had the most successful, one of the most successful boxing careers. Okay, he's went up against an MMA fighter. He's went up against some of the like top boxers and stuff, and then he went up against this YouTuber. It's like I feel like Floyd doesn't really need to prove himself. I feel like, and that's the thing. I'm like, I know I can't be the one to tell like Floyd to slow down. It's like whatever pace he wants to go, he very well can do that. If he wants to box again, I am in no business or in no place to tell him that he can't box again. If that man want to box, he can. Him going up against Jake Paul, I would like to see that. I honestly, I would like, because that's, I'm like, okay, for one, Jake Paul would be going up against a boxer. He ain't going up against no MMA fighters, no basketball players, or no YouTubers. Like, no, he's going up against somebody that it's like, okay, like this is gonna be a match, like, and stuff. So, but I think that probably, because with Logan, I was like, I mean, I respect Logan, as a content creator, as a person. But as a boxer, I'm like, he does his thing. I will say that he does. He is doing his thing. But I just think that him going up against an experienced boxer, but he did prove himself tonight. I mean, he did good. I feel like that. I mean, he did. There was that one guy that walked out of his boxing. I was like, wasn't that dude a professional boxer? And he walked out of his match because he didn't want to go up. And I'm like, yeah, it's things like that where it's all Logan did better than that guy. I'm like, so that guy, if he's at his place, let me just see real quick what was that man's name. Hold on for a second. Yeah, they said that man's name is Curtis Harper. I guess it was for some protesting thing, but still, I'm like, you could just did that boxing, or you could have said that at the beginning and things and been like, I'm not boxing, but it's like you just walk out like before it comes off as like you're scared. So I'm like, yeah, if you overall was like, if you wanted to protest, you should have did that in the beginning, not like in the middle of or like before the fight even started. But Logan, you did better than that guy. And most likely there's probably other boxers out there where it's all like, dang, I don't think I could have went no 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. So you did your thing. You took it all the way. You took it the distance. That's good. You didn't get knocked out. You did get your punch. So you did your thing. You did your thing. And you got paid, bruh. You got, please, I'm telling you, if they would have offered me that boxing match against Floyd Mayweather, and then they said like, oh, you're gonna get paid like let's say like $15-20 million to box Floyd Mayweather. Do you guys think I would like, or I'm like, well, let me think of it. Yes, I would take it. And they were like, okay, so you gotta hype yourself up. You gotta, bro. I'm like, I believe in myself now. Because I know I'm about to get paid $15-20 million and things. And then on top of that, you already, everything around me is just going to be nothing. Because I'm like, okay, the YouTube channel is going to blow up. All right. I think I would get like some pay-per-view like like a payday too. Probably gonna get some merch paydays and stuff because I'm like, okay, I'm definitely gonna make me some merch for people out there and things. What other things? I'm like, fam, I'm getting paid. So I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, that's a business move. Like I'm thinking along the lines like Floyd. I'm like, hey, I'm getting paid and that's all that matters. So but I know people like if it did come down to it where it's like if I were to win, I'm like, dang, now I'm a professional boxer. Now I gotta like prove myself even more and go up against it. But then at the same time, I know people would be like, oh, you went up against a man. He's like 40 years old and stuff, and it's like you're 20 something and things. You got more. I'm like, same with Logan. I'm like, but it's like that's the crazy thing where it's like I know people was all like, Floyd is much older. It's like 20 years older. Freaking what else? And it's like he's smaller, like height and weight smaller. And look how he was boxing out there. You would have thought that he was boxing somebody that was like smaller than him. Like I'm saying, like Floyd did his thing at the age of 44. He did his thing. So it's like that's when people were talking on that age stuff. I was like, hey, look, like I just think it's like, and I think that to talk on Jake Paul. It's like when you're going up against somebody that's a professional, it doesn't matter what's how old they are, it doesn't matter how much they weigh. When you're going up against a professional, somebody that's trained for this type of stuff. So let's say, do you guys think that Jake Paul will win if he was to go up against somebody like Deontay Wilder or prime Mike Tyson or prime Muhammad Ali or Floyd Mayweather? Let me think of some other names. Floyd Mayweather, I think, because I remember I read online, Floyd Mayweather, he said his easiest fight ever was up against Canelo Alvarez. And if you look up Canelo Alvarez, his one and only loss was up against Floyd. Hold on for a second. Canelo Alvarez. His one and only loss. He had a couple of draws, but his one and only loss was against Floyd Mayweather. Okay, so in professional boxing, that was a draw loss. Okay, so yeah, only loss Floyd Mayweather. But other than that, undefeated, one draw. Okay, but it's like other than that, no losses, no losses. And then there's like the loss against Floyd, a draw a few years ago against but then he ended up winning against that guy. So let me see, did he win against the other guy with the other draw? Hold on for a second. George Juarez. I don't think he did. They don't say anything else about that guy, huh? All right, well, but anyways, and then he just recently won. So it's like, do you think, because that's just something that I would like to see myself. But do you think that Floyd's easiest opponent could take on Jake Paul or Logan Paul? No, they can't. But I'm like, yes, I'm like, because that man is like, he's a great boxer himself. So that's why I'm like, look, even his easiest opponent, you guys still don't stand a chance. It's like you guys are being serious about this. I will give you that. You guys are being serious about this boxing stuff. And I think if you guys were to go up against people that are around your pace, then it's more of a challenge. Because they got something to prove. You got something to prove. You're going up against guys that literally have nothing to prove. Nate Robinson, freaking, the other, Ben Arskin or Askren, whatever that dude's last name was. What are some other people? Floyd. I mean, I think they had their thing going on when they were going up against other YouTubers. And it's like, okay, then that makes sense. Or it's like, okay, you're going up against people that's at your pace. They obviously didn't train hard enough. You trained hard enough. You trained harder than them. So, yeah, you're doing better than them. But it's like when you're trying to challenge one of the greatest boxers of all time, no, you guys need to stoop down a lot lower to a boxer that's around your guys' pace or that around your age. So it's like then you guys can be like, hey, this boxing stuff, it's actually a lot worse than what it seems like and things. So it's like you guys, I mean, but obviously it was proven last night, with Floyd and stuff, but it's like, what happens when a YouTuber goes up against a real fighter, a real boxer and stuff. And it's like you see what happens and things, but other than that, I know there might be people that might say Logan Paul was the winner of that. I personally think Floyd won that because Floyd's defense game was crazy. It's like there's more to it than hits and stuff. And I know people will probably be like, Floyd was definitely being tactical. Like, I mean, he usually does that in the majority of his fights, but he killed it. He definitely killed it in this fight. So if I did have to say who won that fight, Floyd. Hands down, Floyd. I don't care what anybody says. You could come up with your arguments. You could send me your videos. Floyd won that. And there ain't no other way that a person can convince me that. So I'm saying, I'm sorry. But I'm not at the same time, but I know people are about to be like, well, it wasn't no winner or loser thing, or it was like, so at the end of the day, nobody won or lost. Floyd won. Okay, so, but anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.